'Cause you're here.
Congratulations.
Thank
New
you very much.
Strangers is out now that this interview is out. How are you feeling to have it out in the world and seeing reactions?
I feel very excited. This epic movie that is split into 3 chapters, 4.5 hours altogether, has been in the works for 2 years now. And to finally have it in the theaters and having people embrace it and enjoy it and seeing them getting scared and jumping out of their seats, it's the best satisfaction you could ask for.
What was it, kind of going into this, what was your approach to make this your kind of mark on The Strangers, right, and make it stand out versus the other films that have come out beforehand?
Well, the original Strangers is a classic. And so I didn't take this lightly. And what made this special for me was that this wasn't a remake, this wasn't a sequel, this was a reimagining of the whole theme. The opportunity to be able to, instead of a usual 90-minute movie, is to have a 4.5-hour story arc and really study the perpetrators and their victims, what happens to them, how are they affected psychologically and physically throughout these horrific events. That to me was the challenge. And what was really important in this particular film and this genre of horror is that it feels real.
Yeah.
So I wanted to always keep in mind that bigger is not necessarily better. It's keeping it real and always checking myself of not going over the top and starting to make a movie, but to keep it a real movie so that the audience always has that sense of like, oh my God, I could be that person.
Yeah. And were there any moments in The Strangers Chapter 1 that you were particularly proud of being able to capture? Because there's some pretty awesome scares in this, so I was curious if there's one you can tease for your audiences.
Yeah, because it's, to a certain extent, like jump scares can be easy. It's basically jump scare is almost like let's go like boom, like that to the audience, and everybody goes like that. But then you feel kind of cheated if it's not really founded in the story and the characters and so on. So for me, it was really important to always keep that sense of reality and keep the atmosphere of the movie just this kind of like heavy dread and stressful, fearful situation instead of doing those jump scares. But I would say there are so many, but I would say that one moment is definitely when Madeleine's character is playing the piano and then something unexpected happens.
And I really love how you have the camera in the trees where we are watching from the trees. And I really liked that decision that you didn't see in the original to occupy that kind of voyeuristic standpoint of the strangers. It makes it even creepier to have us looking through their eyes.
Yes, cool. Exactly. I think that, when we just go back to our own childhood and think about, looking out the window and when it's dark at night and being a kid and being worried there's somebody in the house and you're just, sneaking, looking around the corners and then when you have to be outdoors, I guess, I come from Finland where most of the year it's really, really dark outside. Even when we went to school, it was dark in the morning, and when we went back home in the afternoon, it was dark. So I'm really used to that kind of like feeling like, is somebody like watching me from somewhere. So I really wanted to have that feeling all the time without like making it too, getting the audience feeling like I'm milking it too much, but having that feeling that there's a voyeuristic feeling. Even when we are in the house, I used some angles where you could get sort of an uneasy feeling, like almost like, could there be somebody upstairs and looking down at them in the living room?
Yeah.